welcome to the Dealership Fix It podcast. Thanks for jumping on.
Hello.
If you would, tell me about, I know you haven't been a recruiter in power sports. I know you do power sports and marine and RV. So I know you haven't been doing that forever. So kind of give me a little background on you, if you would, and what brought you here.
Okay, so I'll start with my background. I have a background in arbitration and mediation, and also a 20-year real estate brokerage background. So doing real estate, I feel like I got my PhD in humans in all their glory and messiness. But after that time in real estate, I decided that I needed to change. And I was approached by my partner, Derek Sanders, who has a career in power sports consulting. And we decided that there was a need in the space for a different type of recruiting. So we sat down and decided, kind of what our mission statement would be. And we took it from the Jim Collins book, Good to Great. And we decided that what we were going to do was find the right people to put on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat down, wrote out what we thought that would look like. And it also came about because Derek said that on his time on the road, working with his different dealer groups, that he was constantly asked, do you know a guy? I need a guy.
Sure.
And he was asked that because he has worked inside the dealership. He has a deep understanding of the culture and the numbers. So with that being said, we decided to start this up a couple of years ago and see how it went. And what we decided to do was we wanted to kind of reverse engineer our process. So we've had, we've had some adjustments, but we went to the dealers that we did have a relationship with and asked them to tell us, what are your pain points in working with recruiters? So we kind of reverse engineered our process from there. And that's how it started. And we're going strong. And I love doing this. I love helping people. And it's just been a very positive thing.
What are your initial thoughts on all the changes that are going on right now with all the question marks on, with the state you might live in or that the country's got going on and with all that in regards to what you do?
Well, I can only give you my personal experience. And what I can tell you is that we're still working. We have people starting new positions. We still have our clients, dealer groups who are still actively interviewing. So business is moving forward. I haven't seen a slowdown. People still understand that they're going to need to fill in their team.
You guys do, I think when we talked about it, you said that you guys do a sort of a resume service too, right?
Yes. That's included in what we do. When I interview candidates and I decide that I can work for them, I can't work with everybody. We do, it is a service that we do and we get paid by our client, the dealer group. So we're looking for level 5 leaders. We can't work with job hoppers. And, to that same point, we also only work with dealer groups who have a good reputation. We don't represent groups that have a reputation for kind of showing up and spitting out their employees. So we try to keep a high level of service on both ends, because I feel like our commitment is to our candidate and to our client. So part of that service is the resumes. It's interesting because I know that a lot of people in this space, they've probably never had a professional resume done. So we get quite a few that don't accurately portray, somebody's strengths and talents they kind of still use that old model of job description instead of performance metrics and awards and achievements. So we help with that.
Tell you that telling the story of a given unit, that I see daily. Let's talk, a used motorcycle that's listed, through a dealer's website, comes to their Cycle Trader listings. That's my number one sort of gripe and way that I'm always looking to optimize. Now, I know that it takes energy and effort, but that's always my recommendation to the dealers. Hey, you're not really telling the story about this one unit. When I look at the photos, I can give you a couple examples on every single one of something I'd include, and some stuff I wouldn't know because the photo wouldn't tell it, of maybe its history or whatever. So it really feels like that's the same thing you're talking about in the resumes.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that we do is I do look at people's resumes, but I've kind of come up with my own format for a resume. So, excuse me, I take everything that they put into their resume and then I sort of aggregate into my own format. So somebody can get, we can put a resume together that is just 1 page long and it's digestible and somebody will actually read it. And from there, we go into like maybe a candidate inquiry. So we have more of a 3D picture of the candidate, and they can speak to things like employment gaps, career changes, perhaps, a drop in job title, going from a high level job to a lower position.
That's really, it would appear that you're definitely going to bat for them if you're taking what they've given you and plugging it in a format where you can best showcase that to, in the case of an employee and presenting that to a dealer or dealer group. You're really doing a lot of homework for them in that case to put
sure.
to
Yes,
put
I
them up.
think so. Yeah, and I think that people in this space, I don't know if they are reticent to contact recruiters, but I think that they need to be open with working with recruiters because we can provide our service is so robust, and we can get them in front of people that perhaps they could never find online. A lot of dealer clients, their job openings are, confidential. Perhaps they don't advertise online, and lots of times they will utilize a recruiter because this is our full-time job. We're talking to people, all day long, and they may not have somebody in-house in the dealership that can do that.
I wonder do you find that those little short ones will portray the information correctly, or the person got up on the wrong side of the bed and they scored them all opposite of the real life?
I think it's a good place to start.
Okay.
I do. I think it's a good place to start. And what's interesting is I've talked to a few people who have, they're a little bit further along in their professional career, and their DISC profile has changed over time.
Okay.
So they test different once they've been, working for 20 years versus when they first started. So I find that interesting, and I don't know why that is, but I have had people tell me that.
You guys, I think, would seem to me like the ways that you guys get to interact and with connections, and definitely Derek's a pro in the business. What's that like? You guys are working in the same place. You got to probably draw some lines in the sand. This is, we're at home, we're not talking work, or do you guys blur all the lines with that?
We are so excited about this space, and we want to make sure, because you hear people say, that perhaps millennials won't ride, or maybe our grandkids won't ride. And for me and for Derek, we just want to keep this alive. I mean, we have to keep this. We have to keep this going. Our culture, I think we've come to the realization that we need self-care. And it's totally my belief that riding a motorcycle, going out on your boat, your four-wheeler, that's a form of self-care. And I think it goes hand in hand with us being healthier people and taking time out to have fun. And other cultures do it, as Americans, we're like work, work, work. But, we need to play.
Well, any sort of parting thoughts you have where you could send somebody to check you guys out or?
Sure. We have just put up our website. It's dreamteamreferrals.com. And then anyone can connect with me on LinkedIn. And it's Jaye Sanders with Dream Team Referrals. And like I said, I am constantly, my calendar is open. I will give everybody 15 minutes just to do a quick discovery call and, just help people.
Thanks again for listening to this lost tape of the Dealership Fix-It podcast. These guest interviews still hit hard, and we're bringing them back re-edited, sharpened up, and focused entirely on what matters, helping dealerships like yours improve, grow, and win. If you got something out of this one, hit that share button or forward it to a dealership friend who needs it. And make sure you're following the show so we can keep bringing you more content like this with convos with people shaping the power sports industry. Catch you on the next one.
Still guessing what to pay on a used bike? Still holding aged units that just won't move? It's time for a real system. Moto Hunt's ultimate used inventory playbook shows how the best dealers are finding better inventory, pricing trades right, and turning used bikes faster with fewer mistakes and more margin. It's short, real, and free to download right now. Visit dealers.motohunt.com to grab your copy or check for the link in the notes.